Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Savannah Lion Games in Pooler, Georgia, where I will be fighting a 1,500-point battle between my Dark Angels and Sam's Genestealer Cult and Tyranids. So the story that we've got going on here is that Genestealer Cult uprising overthrew the Imperial government on this planet, ruining much of the planet as they took over the Planetary Defense Force's weapons and started turning them on their own people. So the Dark Angels were dispatched to go take care of this and bring the planet back under Imperial control. As they arrived, though, a small part of the Hive fleet arrived in orbit over the planet and started dropping down and fighting against the Dark Angels. So they continued to push back, hoping one last-ditch effort to try to save this planet from a Tyranid invasion. So that's the story that we got going on. We're going to be doing the scouring, playing the scouring. So we've got this marker over here is the superior. This one's the inferior. Then we've got one back there, one over here, one back over there, and one over there. So that is those are going to be the objectives, and that's the kind of the game we're going to be playing here. So before we go any further, though, let's show you the two armies that are going to be facing off. So for the Dark Angels, I'll be running a battalion detachment. Leading off that detachment, we have a Primaris Librarian with a 4-sword and a captain in Gravis armor. We have two 5-man intercessor squads. We have a 5-man tactical squad. We have a 5-man scout squad with bolters. We have a 6-man reaver squad with grav shoots. We have a 5-man devastator squad with 4 grav cannons. We have 2 separate land speeders, one with an assault cannon and heavy bolter, and the other with an assault cannon and heavy flamer. We have a drop pod. We have 2 razorbacks, one with twin assault cannon, the other with twin heavy bolter. And last but not least, we have a whirlwind with the Castellan launchers. So for the Genestealer Cult and Tyranids, he'll be running a spearhead detachment and a patrol detachment. Leading off the Genestealer Cult spearhead detachment, we have a Magus. And we have 3 Cult Leman Russes, each with a battle cannon, each with a las cannon, and each with heavy bolter sponsons. And for the patrol detachment, we have a Swarm Lord. We have a 20-man Genestealer squad. We have a Tyrannocyte. And last but not least, we have a Trigon with Toxin Spike. All right, so those are the armies that are going to be facing off. Going over deployment here, I've got an empty Razorback over here with the twin assault cannons. I've got my Intercessor squad. I've got me, the Glacial Geek Librarian here. I've got the 5-man tactical squad back here on the objective. I've got a land speeder with the assault cannon and heavy bolter. I've got an empty Razorback with the twin heavy bolters. I've got the land speeder with the heavy flamer and the assault cannon. 5-man intercessor squad. My captain with Gravis armor is back here, and my whirlwind is back here. My reavers are in Deep Strike Reserve, and my devastators are inside of the drop pod in Deep Strike Reserve. So going over deployment now for the Genestealer Cult and Tyranids, we've got one of his Leman Russes here, one of his Leman Russes here, one of his Leman Russes here, and he's got his Magos back in here. He's got the Trigon has the Genestealers with him, and then the Tyrannocyte has the Swarm Lord inside of it. So that's what we've got going on here. That's our situation. So before we go any further, though, as of right now, the Tyranids are going to be going first, unless I can seize the initiative. Looking for a 6. Show me that Phil first. No, I do not get it. So we will come back to you after movement phase here for the Tyranids on turn 1. All right, movement phase for the Tyranids. He stood still. He stood still. He stood still in there, and he stood still here. And then these guys came in from reserve. So the Trigon popped up here, and the Genestealers popped out over here. Down came the what is this thing again? The Tyrannocyte popped down there, and out came the Swarm Lord. So pretty brutal. All right, so that is the movement phase here on turn 1 for the Tyranids. We will come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so first off, he's going to cast Smite into my intercessors there. Looking for a 5. Getting it with an 8. I am going to try to deny that because my guy is within 24. So looking for a 9. And getting it. Okay, good. And now he is going to cast Catalyst onto his Genestealers there. So looking for a 6. And that is going off. All right, so that is successful. All right, the Swarm Lord used his Hive Mind power to give them a move in advance, and they ran up over here, swarming around here. And then he is going to fire his 5 Death Spitters into my intercessors there. So, looking for 5s. There's nothing there. Oh, actually, no, those 2 are cocks. Sorry. Yeah, reroll those. Nope, still nothing there. And so he is going to fire his battle cannon and his las cannon into my Razorback over here. So he's rolling for the battle cannon. He gets 2 shots there, hitting on 4s. That one's cocked right there. No, nothing there. And the las cannon looking for a 4. That's good with a 6. Wounding on a 3. That's a wound. Looking for a 6-up, showing that full face. Yeah, with the fill phase. Woo!
Not from the scouts.
So now this guy here is going to fire his heavy bolters into the scouts. He's going to fire his battle cannon and las cannon into my Razorback over here. So we're going to go first. Heavy bolters first, so hitting on 4s. All right, got some hits there. Wounding on 3s. We got 1 wound. AP -1, +1 for being in cover, so we've got 4-up save. No, failed that. Now the battle cannon gets 2 shots, hitting on 4s. Got 1 hit, strength 8, right? So wounding on 3. That's a wound, AP -2, so looking for 5-up. No, failed that. D3 wounds, 1 wound. And now the las cannon, hitting on a 4. No, nothing there. He's going to use a command point to reroll that.
I'm down to 3.
No, nothing there. And his 3rd, Lehman Russ, is going to do the same thing. Heavy bolters into them, and las cannon and battle cannon into them. So heavy bolter, hitting on 4s. So we got 2 hits. All right, wounding on 3s. We got 1 wound. +1, -1, so 4-up. No, nothing there. Now the battle cannon, 1 shot, hitting on a 4. Whoop. That's a hit. Wounding on a 3. That's a wound. AP -2. Nope, goes through. Damage is 2. And then the las cannon, no hit there. All right, so that's it for the shooting phase. On to the assault phase. His Genestealers are going to charge into my intercessors and my landspeeder there. So we're going to go with Overwatch. We'll start with the landspeeder. So we've got heavy flamer here, D6, 2 hits, strength 5, toughness 4. So wounding on 3s. You got 2 wounds, AP -1, but 5-up invul save. Go, makes them both. And then we've got the assault cannon from him. So we've got 6 shots, hitting on 6s. We got, that's cocked, so nothing there. And then we've got 10 shots from the intercessors, hitting on 6s. Nothing there. All right, so their charge distance is going to be totally in, but let's see how far they can run around. Oh, 9 inches, really good. And now the Swarm Lord is going to charge in over here, looking for 9 inches. Getting it with 9. Brutal. All right, so now he's going to start off here with the Swarm Lord. He's going to be hitting on 2s. All right, 1 miss. Strength 8, so wounding on 2s. All right, so that is 4 wounds, or 4 wounds. AP -3, so looking for 6-up, showing that Phil versus. Hey, got 2 of them, so that's 2. So then 1 at a time on these ones. The first one is 6, so it's a dead intercessor, and 2, so that's a dead intercessor. And then he has 1 attack with the tail, hitting on a 2. That's a hit. Wounding on a strength 8, so wounding on a 2. That's a wound. AP, no AP, so looking for a 3-up. No, failed that one. How many wounds is that? D3 wounds? 3 wounds, so that's another intercessor dead. All right, so now on to the Genestealers here. 9 are going to go into my intercessors. The rest are going to go into my landspeeder. So here come the intercessor ones. The first set is, this is 9 attacks here. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. Oh, hitting on 3s. So that's 2 misses there. And then you want to just do we'll just do the wounds. We can keep going from there. So yeah. So alrighty.
6s are rending.
And 6s are rending. So wounding on strength 4. So wounding on 4s. All right. So we've got 5 that I can actually do something. So 1 is going to be a wound on there, and then there's 5, right? So 5 AP -1. So looking for 4-ups. Okay, so I failed another 3, and that's going to be the entire squad, so we don't have to go into the other ones. And that is First Blood. All right, these are the ones going into these ones that are going into the land speeder. So hitting on 3s. All right, so we've got all but 2 hits on the first. Oh no, all but 3 hits. All right, and these are going to be wounding on 5s. All right, so we got 2 that go through and 3 that I've got save on. So looking for 4-ups. Oh, make them all, woo! And this is the second set of 11. All right, hitting on 3s. All right, wounding on 5s. All right, so we've got 1 save and 1 that just goes through. Nope, failed that one. Third set. All right. Yeah, looking for 3s. All right. Wounding on 5s. All right. Wow, 3 that goes straight through. 2 4-up saves. Make 1 of them. All right, so he's dead. He's dead. Let's see if he explodes on a 6-up. No, does not explode. So yeah, that is it for the fight phase. I think we've got 1 morale set that we have to take. So these guys lost 2, so 2 plus 2 is fine. So that is it for the Tyranids turn here on turn 1. We will come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 1. All right, movement phase here for the Dark Angels turn 1. These guys stood still. He moved up over this way. He stood still. He moved up over this way. He moved up over that way. They all, these 2 stood still. They came in from reserves. These guys moved up this way. These guys advanced up over here, and these guys came in from reserves. So that is it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, start of the psychic phase. He is going to cast Smite onto this Genestealers back over there. So looking for a 5. Getting it with 9. Do you want to try to deny that? You have to get a 10. Nope, he's going to let it go. So D3 mortal wounds. Got 2 mortal wounds, and they've got Catalyst, right? So they've got 2 5-ups. Makes 1 of them. And now he's going to cast Mindworm onto his Genestealers. Looking for a 6. That goes off. 1 mortal wound. So just, yeah, 5-up, feel no pain. Yep, he's good. All right, so starting off the shooting phase, my Devastator squad there is going to fire into his Swarm Lord. So the red ones are going to be the Signum. The green ones are going to be the regular ones. They're going to be hitting on 3s for the red, 4s for the greens because they're heavy weapons and they moved because they just came in from Deep Strike here. So looking for 3s and 4s. Alrighty. Then. All right. Strength 5, toughness 4 on the Swarm Lord. I'm sorry, yeah, on the Swarm Lord. Sorry. All right, 1 second. All right, so strength 5, toughness 6. So looking for 5s to wound. We've got 5 wounds. AP -3. So what's he got? 5-up invul. So there's 5 of those. So he makes 1 of them, so that's 4. Because he's got 3-up armor, they're actually D3 wounds. Just looking for D3 wounds. Ooh. I'm gonna spend a command point to reroll 1 of those. All right, so that's 6, 7, 8, 9 wounds. Now my Whirlwind is gonna fire into the Genestealers over there. So 2d6 shots, 4 shots, hitting on 3s. All right, so 3 hits, strength 6, toughness 4, so looking for 3s to wound. All right, so that's 2 wounds, 2 5-ups. Makes 1 of them. Feel no pain, and he's good on that one. And now the twin heavy bolter from there is going to fire into the Genestealers, hitting on 3s. Oh, okay. Wounding on strength 5, wounding on 3s. Got 3 wounds. AP -1, but 5-up invul. Makes 1 of them, and then feel no pain. Makes another 1 of those, so 1 dead. Now the twin assault cannon here is going to fire into his Swarm Lord, hitting on 3s. Hitting on 4s, I'm sorry, because he moved. All right, strength 6, toughness 7, you said, or toughness 6. So looking for force to wound. All righty. So we got 3 wounds, AP -1, so 3 4-ups. Fails one of them. Does he have a feel no pain thing as well?
Nice.
No, he's just got 5 inevitable. Okay. My drop pod's gonna fire into the Genestealers. 4 shots here, hitting on 3s. All right, wounding on 4s. No wounds there.
Straight up.
All right, so the tactical squad here is gonna fire into the Genestealers. Got 4 bolters hitting on 3s. All right, wounding on 4s. Okay, we've got 1 wound, 1 5-up invul save. He's good. Now he's gonna fire into the Swarm Lord there. So first we're gonna fire the assault cannon. He's gonna fire the assault cannon into him first. So 6 shots hitting on 4s because he moved. Okay. Strength 6, wounding on 4s. Got 2 wounds. Oh boy. 4-up saves. Oh, and he makes them both. And now the heavy bolter is gonna fire, hitting on 4s. All right, all hits. Wounding on 5s. We got 2 wounds. Oh man, here we go. 2 4-ups. Oh, and he makes 1.
That's Swarm Lord.
My captain's gonna fire into the Genestealers there with his Boltstorm Gauntlet, hitting on 2s. Okay, re-rolling 1s because of himself. All right, wounding on 4s. I got 2 wounds, 2 5-ups. That one's cocked. All right, and 5-up invul save for feel no pain for that one, so 1 dies.
I did a base 5 save.
All right, so now these guys here are gonna fire into his Magus there through the window. So we got 6 shots hitting on 3s. All righty. Strength 4, toughness 3, right? Yep, so wounding on 3s. All right, we got 1 wound, AP -1, +1 for cover, so looking for a 5-up. He's good. And now these intercessors are gonna fire into his Swarm Lord over there. So we got 5 shots hitting on 3s. Okay, wounding on a 5. That's a wound. AP -1, +1, so 3 up. Go, and he goes down. All right, that's it for the shooting phase. Into the assault phase, these guys are going to charge into his Magus in there. So his auto pistol hitting on a 6. No, nothing there. So their charge distance looking for 9 inches. It's not in. I'm going to spend a command point to still not be in. All right, so that is it for the Dark Angel's turn here on turn 1. We will come back to you after movement phase for the Tyranids here on turn 2. All right, movement phase here for the Genestealer Cult and Tyranids. His Leman Russes all stood still. His Magus ran back behind over here. His Tyrannocyte moved back over here. He's moving up this way, and these guys advanced over this way. And that is it for the movement phase. So we'll come back to you with the psychic phase, or maybe psychic phase. We'll see. All right, so this Leman Russ is going to fire his battle cannon and las cannon into my Razorback, and he's going to fire the heavy bolters into my Reavers. So the battle cannon gets 1 shot, hitting on a 4. Oh, he's going to use a command point for that one? With 6 shots. Woo, that was a good use of that command point. All right, so 6 shots hitting on 4s. All right, so 1 hit. Wounding on 3. That's a wound. AP -2, so 5 up. No, failed that, so D3 wounds. 3 wounds. And then the last cannon. Oh, that's a hit. Wounding on a 3. That's a wound. 6 up save. Show me that full face. No, nothing there, so D6 wounds. 2 wounds. And the heavy bolters into these guys here. Hitting on 4s, so I got 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. Got 2 wounds. AP -1, so 4 ups. They're good. Woo! The second one here is going to fire his heavy bolters into my Reavers, and the last cannon and battle cannon into my. So the battle cannon gets 6 shots. All right. So these are going to be hitting on 4s. All right. So 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. We got 2 wounds. 2 5-up saves. Making neither of them. So first one, D3 is 2, and the next one is going to kill it. So does it explode? It does not. And now the heavy bolter's going into my reavers. Hitting on 4s. Wow, really good. Wounding on 3s. So we got 2 wounds. 2 4-ups. They're good. And the last one here is going to fire everything into the reavers. So the battle cannon. It's getting 2 shots. So hitting on 4s. Got 2 hits. Wounding on 2s. Strength 8. So that's 1 wound. AP -2. So looking for a 5-up. And they're good. Woo! Last cannon. That's a hit. That is a wound. Looking for a 6-up. Oh, in the fill face! Yeah! And now the heavy bolter's going in. Hitting on 4s. Alright, so we got 3 hits. Wounding on 3s. Got 2 wounds. 2 4-ups. And of course, those are the ones I fail. Alright, the Tyranid is going to fire into my reavers with Despitters. So hitting on 5s. Whew, pretty good. 4 hits. Strength 5, so wounding on 3s. Alright, so we got 3 wounds. AP -1, so looking for 4-ups. And I failed one of them. Alright, so that's it for the shooting phase. On to the assault phase. His Trigon is going to charge into my Devastators over here. So the greens are going to be the grav cannon, and underneath there is a red die that's going to be the bolt pistol from the Sergeant. So these are going to be hitting on 6s. Alright, we got a couple. Alright, so we got 5 wounds, 5 hits. Strength 5, toughness 7, so looking for 5s to wound. So we got 3 wounds, AP -3, so we got 6-up saves, right? Failed them, so D3 wounds. We've got 2, 4, I'm going to spend a command point. So 2, 4, 6 wounds. And now he's going to charge, needing 5 inches. He's going to spend a command point. No, doesn't make it. Alright, so now we're going to go over to here. They are going to charge into my captain and my whirlwind. So the whirlwind is going to be firing Overwatch, 2d6 shots. So 7 shots, we'll come back to that. So 7 shots, hitting on 6s. We got 1 hit, strength 6. Wounding on a 3. That's a wound, 5 up. No, failed. And then my captain with his Bolt Storm Gauntlet. No hits there. So their charge distance is totally in. Alright, so now we're going to start in the fight phase. He's got 7 guys that are going to go into my captain over there. So hitting on 3s. Alright, and then strength 4, wounding on 5s because he's toughness 5. Alright, so we got 1 wound and it's a 6, so it's AP -3, but he's got a 4-up invul save, and he's good. The next set, that one's cocked back there. All right, wounding on 5s. All right, it's got 1, and failed that. 3rd round of shots here. All right, 2 hits, wounding on 5s. That's 1 wound. 4 up. Nope, failed that. 4th round. Shots here. Alright, wounding on 5s. So got 1, 4 up. And he's good with a fill phase. Woo! And then 9 guys are going into the whirlwind here. This is the first set hitting on 3s. All right. Strength 4, looking for 5s to wound. All right. So it is 2 wounds, 2 4-up saves, and I make 1 of them. And now the next set around here. Ooh, pretty good. All right, wounding on 5s. All right. So we've got 2 wounds.
1 rend.
1 with rending. So we're gonna do 1 4-up. That's good with a 6-up, with a fill face, and then 1 6-up. Should have done it the other way around. 3rd round. All right. Wounded on 5s. All right, so 2 rends, 2 6-ups. Failed them both. And then the last round here. All right. And wounding on 5s. All right, so we got 1 6. So looking for a 6 up. Whoa, that fell off the table. No good there. All right, now my captain's gonna fight back. He's got 5 attacks here, hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s because of himself. All right, don't get to reroll it again though. Strength 4, toughness 4, looking for 4s to wound. All right, so we got 3 wounds. AP minus doesn't make a difference because they got 5 up invuls. All right, so they failed 2 of them. And then the whirlwind's gonna attack back, looking for 6s. No, nothing there. So that is it for the Tyranids' turn here on turn 2. So we will come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels on turn 2. All right, movement phase here for the Dark Angels on turn 2. These guys stood still. He stood still. He fell back. He fell back. He stood still. He stood still. They stood still. These guys advanced forward. They stood still. And these guys just moved up over there. So that is it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the psychic phase. Start with the psychic phase. He's going to cast Mind Worm into these the Genestealers over there. So that goes off with a 9. So that's 1 mortal wound onto them. And now casting. Now he is going to cast Smite. Going off with an 8. D3 mortal wounds. 1 mortal wound. Alright, so starting off the shooting phase, my Devastators here are going to fire into his Trigon. So the greens are going to be regular, red is going to be the Signum, hitting on 2s and 3s. Alright, we'll come back to you with that. Alright, and wounding on 5s. Alright, so we've got... so we've got 4 8 wounds, 8 6-ups. Failed all of them. So these are. Oh yeah, that was 8. Did you roll 8 dice?
I only rolled 4. They're multiple.
Oh. So he made 1. Yeah. So he made 7. So as long as one of these, yep, at least one was D2. And now the twin assault cannon is going to fire into his Genestealers here. 12 shots, hitting on 3s. All right, T. Strength 6, so wounding on 3s. All right, T. Then, so we got 5 wounds, 5 5-ups. Failed 4 of them. 4 guys with bolters here are going to fire into the Genestealers, hitting on 3s. All right, wounding on 4s. All right, got 1 wound. 5 up. No. He's going to fire his heavy bolter and assault cannon into them, hitting on 3s. All right, strength 6, so wounded on 3s. All right, so we got 5 wounds, 5 5-ups. So it makes 2 of them. And now the heavy bolter firing. Okay, 1 hit, 1 wound. No save. And now the drop pod's gonna fire in there. 2 shots, 2 hits, 1 wound. No. All right, that last one, he was actually fully in cover there, so he got that save, because it's also a 5-up armor as well as a 5-up invul save. And these guys here are going to fire into his Lehman Russ, so we got 5 shots, hitting on 3s. All right. Toughness 8, so wounding on a 6. We got 2 wounds. AP minus 1, so it's 4 ups. And he makes 1 of them. And these guys here are going to fire into his Tyrannocyte. 3 shots, hitting on 3s. Got 2 hits. Wounding on toughness. What's his toughness? Toughness 6, so looking for a 5 to wound. We got 2 wounds. 4 up save because he's got they got no AP. All right, makes 1 of them. All right, so these guys, my Reavers in the assault phase, are going to try to assault into his Magus. So looking for an 11-inch charge here. Not getting it. I'm going to spend command point. Why not? Nope, still not getting it. All right, so that is it for the assault phase, and that is it for the Dark Angel's turn here. We've got 1, I think, morale test. We'll take 1 second. All right, so they actually they lost 13 in that shooting phase there, so they are down to they were just going to run anyway, so they ran away. So that is it for the Dark Angel's turn now. So we will come back to you after movement phase for the Tyranids and Genestealer Cult here on turn 3. All right, movement phase for the Genestealer Cult and Tyranids here on turn 3. They stood still. He stood still. He stood still. The Magus advanced over this way, running away from those guys. Makes sense. And he stood still. So that is it for the movement phase. We are not going to have a psychic phase, so we'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so actually he's going to cast Smite onto them. So looking for 5. Getting it. So D3 wounds. 2 wounds. All right, start with the shooting phase. He's going to fire everything into my Reavers over there. So we're going to start with the battle cannon. 4 shots, hitting on 4s. We got 1 hit, strength 8, so wounding on 2s. No wound there. He's going to use then onto the last cannon now. So that's a hit. That is a wound. AP -3, +1 for cover. So looking for a 5 up. No, goes through. D3 wounds. D6 wounds, so it's 1 wound. And now the heavy bolters. All right. 3 hits. Wounding on 3s. All right, so 1 wound. AP -1, +1, 3 up. No, failed that. All right, this guy over here is going to use heavy bolters into my scouts here. And he's going to use the battle cannon and the last cannon into my primaris over here. So what are we going to start off with? We're going to start off with the heavy bolters, hitting on 3s, hitting on 4s. Yeah, that one's cocked there. All right. 3 hits, strength 5, wounded on 3s. All right, so we got 1 wound, +1, -1. Looking for a 4 up. Nope, failed. Battle cannon gets 2 shots. Gonna use command point on that one. 6 shots. Oh, here we go. All right, hitting on 4s. Oh man, wounded on 2s. Oh man. All right, so we got 5 wounds. AP -2, right? So 5 ups. Oh, made 3 of them, but still D3 on each of these. So the first one is 1, and the second one is going to be 1. So both kill the guy. And now the last cannon. No hit there. All right, and the last one is going to fire heavy bolters into the scouts. All right. Hitting, wounding on, wounding on 3s. All right, so that's 3 wounds. 3 4 ups. Made 2 of them. Now the last cannon into my intercessors over here. That's a hit. That is a wound. 6 up. Nope. D3, a D6. He did. And the battle cannon's gonna go into my devastators over there. So 6 shots. Hitting on 5s. Or 4s, sorry. Not 5s. I don't know where I'm going from there. So we got 3 hits. Wounded on 2s. That's 3 wounds. 3 5 ups. Failed all of them. Boof. And the Tyranid is going to fire into the scouts over here. Or the scout. Hitting on 5s. So we got 1 hit. Strength 5, so wounding on 3. That's a wound. AP -1, so looking for a 4 up. No, failed that. All right, so that's it for the shooting phase. There will not be an assault phase. So moving on to the morale phase. These guys lost 2. 2 plus 4 is good. These guys also lost 2. 2 plus 2 is good. And those guys back there lost 3. So 3 plus 4 is 7, and they're good. All right, and that is it for the Tyranid and Genestealer Cult turn here on turn 3. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels on turn 3. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 3. These guys stood still. My Permanent Librarian moved up this way. He moved up over that way. He advanced over that way. They moved up. He moved up. These guys moved up. And these guys moved up over this way. So that is it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the... I don't think anyone's in psychic range, so we'll just come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, my start of the shooting phase, he is going to fire into the Tyranid. We're going to start with the assault cannon, hitting on 4s because he moved. All right. Strength 6, toughness 7, so looking for 5s to wound. Nope, nothing there. And then the heavy bolter. 2 hits. And no wounds. All right, the Reavers are going to fire into the Magus. 3 shots, hitting on 3s. 2 hits, wounding on 3s. Whoa. Fell out of my hand. Well, 1 wound. AP -1. 6 up. He's good. All right, my Whirlwind is going to fire into his Tyranid over there. So we got 2d6 shots. So 9 shots, we'll come back to that. So 9 shots, hitting on 3s. All right, wow, really good. Strength 6, looking for 5s to wound. We got 3 wounds. 3, what's his save? 3 up? Regular save is 5 up. All right, 1 second. All right, looking for a 4 up. And he makes one of them. All right, my intercessors here are gonna fire into his Tyrannocyte there. So we got 3 shots, hitting on 3s. All right, 2 hits, wounding on 5s. I got 1 wound, AP -1. So looking for a 5 up. No good. And my 2 Devastators are going to fire into him with grav cannons. So we got 8 shots, hitting on 4s because they moved. All right, wow, really good. Strength 5, so wounding on 5s. We got 2 wounds, AP -3, so that just goes through. And it's only 1 wound each for them because he didn't have a 3-up armor save. All right, so that's it for the shooting phase. On to the assault phase. My Reavers are going to charge into his Magus. So you can Overwatch with... one shot with the 6. No hit there, so looking for 10 inches. Oh, not making it. I'm going to spend a command point and make it in, all right. All right, so on to the fight phase here. My Reavers are going to attack in first. So we've got 2 attacks each, except for the Sergeant has 3, and then +1 attack because of the knife, combat knife. So here we go. Hitting on 3s. All right. Strength 4, wounding on 3s. All right, so we've got 5 wounds.
4 wounds, so I'm 5 up normal.
It'd be just 5 up. There's no AP. So we got 5 ups. And made 2 of them. So he's still alive. And now he is going to attack back. So 3 attacks hitting on 3s. Strength wounding on 3s. He's got a 4 stave. So that's 2 wounds. AP -1. So looking for 4 ups. Failed 1 of them. D3 wounds, 2 wounds, so 1 guy is dead. And that is it for the Dark Angel's turn here on turn 3. So we will come back to you after a movement phase for the Tyranids and Genestealer Cult on turn 4. All right, movement phase for the Genestealer Cult and Tyranids here on turn 4. This guy moved back, the Tyrannocyte moved back, and everything else stood where it was. So that is it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the Psychic phase. All right, so he's going to cast Smite onto them, getting it with 7, so D3 mortal wounds, 2 mortal wounds. All right, so starting off the shooting phase, he is going to fire his heavy bolters into here, battle cannon, las cannon into my speeder. So battle cannon first, 6 shots. All right, hitting on 4s. All right, so we got 1 hit. Wounding on a 3, that's a wound. AP -2, looking for a 5 up. No, goes through. D3 wounds, 1 wound. And now the last cannon does not hit. He's going to spend his last command point and re-roll that. That's a hit. Wounding on a 3. No wound. And now the heavy bolters into these guys, so hitting on 4s. We got 1 hit. Wounding on a 3. No wound. And now the second Lehman Russ here is going to fire heavy bolters, battle cannon, and las cannon. So battle cannon first. 6 shots.
You say this as you're being picked up.
Hitting on 4s. All right, that one's cocked at 2. All right, so that is 4 hits. Wounding on 3s. Oh, I got 3 wounds. 3. AP -2, so 3 5 ups. Make 2 of them. So D3 wounds, 2 wounds. And the last cannon is not a hit. Heavy bolters into the intercessors. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hitting on, well, that's a hit, so wounding on 3s. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3 ups because it's AP -1, +1 for cover. So that is 1 dead guy. And then the third is Lehman Russ is going to fire heavy bolters into my intercessors, las cannon into my speeder. and he's going to fire the battle cannon into my whirlwind. So, battle cannon first, 3 shots, hitting on 4s. We got 2 hits, strength 8, so wounding on 3s. We got 2 wounds, 2 5-up saves. Make 1 of them, so D3 wounds, 3 wounds. Last cannon into my land speeder. No hit there. And now the heavy bolters. All right, so got 2 hits, wounding on 3s. Got 2 wounds, 2 3-ups. I failed 1 of them. And now the Tyranid is going to fire into my land speeder, needing 6s. I got 2 hits. Strength 5, right? Yeah. So wounding on, 1 second. All right, T5, so wounding on 4s. That's 1 wound. AP -1, so 4 up. No, failed it. All right, so that's it for the shooting phase. Onto the fight phase. We're gonna have the Magus onto my Reaver there. So 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. Got 1 hit. Wounding on a 3. No wound there. So his attack's back. He's gonna have 4 attacks, hitting on 3s. All right, hits, wounding on 3s. Got 2 wounds, 2 5-ups. Oh, and he fails 1, which means he's dead, and that is Slay the Warlord. All right, and that is it for Tyranid Genestealer Cult turn here on turn 4. So we will come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 4. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 4. These guys all stood still. Those guys all moved up there. They moved up this way. My Librarian stood where he was. My Land Speeder stood where he was. My Intercessor stood where they were. And my Reaver advanced back towards the building over here. And that is it for the movement phase. So we will come back to you. Not going to do a second phase, so we'll just come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, we're going to start off with the Whirlwind. 2d6 shots. 9 shots. All right, he's going to fire into the Tyranid over there. So these are going to be 9 shots, hitting on 4s now because he's in his 2nd tier. Oh, got a couple. Okay. Thought it may have been nothing there for a second. I was only looking at the 2s and 3s. Strength 6, so wounding on 5s. I got 1 wound. AP nothing. And he's good. Twin Assault Cannon here is going to fire into his Tyranid, hitting on 4s. All right. Pretty good. Strength 6, wounding on 5s. Not as good. So we got 2 wounds, AP -1. So it makes 1, fails 1. All right, my Land Speeder here is going to fire into Tyranid. So 6 shots with the Assault Cannon, hitting on 3s. All righty. Wounding on 5s. Whew, 3 wounds, 3 5-ups. And he fails them all. And now the Heavy Bolter. 2 hits. No wounds. All right, those Devastators are going to fire into him, hitting on 4s because they moved. Okay. Wounding on 5s. Got 2 wounds, AP -3. So let's just go through. So that's 2 wounds. And he is dead. And these Intercessors here are going to fire into his Leman Russ in the middle. So we got 2 shots, hitting on 3s. No hits there. And that is it for the Dark Angels on turn 4 here. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Genestealers and Genestealer Cult and Tyranids here on, well, it's mostly just Genestealer Cult now. So on turn 5. All right, movement phase. This Leman Russ is moving up this way towards that objective. He stood still and he stood still. So that's it for the movement phase. We are now going to move into the shooting phase. He is going to fire his Heavy Bolters into him, right? Heavy Bolters into my Reaver there. So hitting on 4s. Ooh, no hits. And then he's going to fire the Battle Cannon and Last Cannon into my Land Speeder. Battle Cannon first. 5 shots. All right, so we got 2 hits. Strength 8, wounding on 3s. No wounds. And then the Last Cannon hitting on a 4. No hit. All right, same thing from this Leman Russ here. So we're going to do what do you want to do first? Do the Battle Cannon first. Into my, this is 6 shots. Into my Land Speeder. All right, so hitting on 4s. All right, so we got 3 hits. Wounding on 3s. We got 2 wounds. AP -2, so looking for 2 5-ups. I made 1 of them, so D3 wounds. If you see a 2 or more, he's going to be dead. Yeah, and he's dead. He's not within 6 inches, so yeah, he did. And now the heavy bolters into my Reaver. Hitting on 4s, so 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. 1 wound. AP -1. 4 up, he's good. Woo! And then the third Leman Russ here, the one that moved, is going to fire everything into these 2 intercessors over here. So, battle cannon first. 1 shot. Hitting on a 4 because he has the thing. No hit there. Las cannon on a 5 because he moved. Nope. And then we've got the heavy bolters that are going to be coming in here, hitting on 5s. So we got 1 hit. That is 1 wound. And no, not a save. All right, and that is it for the Tyranid and Genestealer Cult turn here on turn 5. So we'll come back to you after a movement phase for the Dark Angels on turn 5. All right, movement phase here for the Dark Angels. These guys all stood still. He moved back onto the objective. These guys both advanced up over this way. They advanced up that way. He moved up onto the objective there, and my Reaver guy advanced back over to here. So that is it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, my Whirlwind is going to fire into his Leman Russ over here. So 2d6 shots. We got 7 shots. So 7 shots, hitting on 4s now because he's in the second tier. All right, pretty good. Strength 6, looking for 5s to wound. We got 1 wound, AP nothing, so 3 up. What is he? He's good with a 6. And now he's going to fire into him. 2 shots. Got 1 hit. Looking for a 6 because toughness 8, so no wound there. And that is the end of the Dark Angels turn here on turn 5. So we will see if we can move on to a turn 6. My opponent's going to roll. With a 4, we will. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Genestealer Cult here on turn 6. All right, movement phase for the Genestealer Cult here. He moved his Leman Russ up that way. He moved his Leman Russ over here up that way. He's kept this Leman Russ still. And that is it for the movement phase. So now we're going to move into the shooting phase. He's going to fire his last cannon, battle cannon into, and heavy bolters? Yep. And heavy bolters into my Razorback. So, battle cannon first. 6 shots. All right, hitting on 4s. All right, so we got 2 hits. Wounded on 3s. Got 2 wounds. AP -2. Look for 5 ups. Make 1 of them. So D3 wounds. 3 wounds. Now the last cannon into him on a 4. No hit. And now the heavy bolters are going to fire into him. Hitting on 4s. We got 2 hits. Strength 5. Wounding on 5s. Got 2 wounds. AP -1. So 4 ups. Failed 1 of them. Now he's going to fire his heavy bolters into my Reaver. Battle cannon, last cannon into my Razorback. So battle cannon first. 5 shots. Hitting on 4s. Oh, pretty good. 4 hits. Wounding on 3s. So that's 3 wounds. AP -2, so 3 5 ups. Failed them all. So D3 each. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh. And now the last cannon. No hit. And now the heavy bolters into my Reaver on 5s. Got 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. Got 2 wounds. AP -1 +1. 2 3 up saves. Oh, make them both. Woo! All right, now this last Leman Russ is going to fire his las cannon and heavy bolters into this intercessor, and the battle cannon into my Razorback. So 4 shots with the battle cannon, hitting on 4s because he's got that. Yep. So that's grinding advance. So that's 3 hits. Wounding on 3s. Got 2 wounds. 2 5 up saves. Oh, and I failed 1, so he is dead. Does he explode? Oh, and he does! Oh my god, hold on. All right, so it's D3 mortal wounds. All right, 1 mortal wound. Now the last cannon hitting on 5 over here. No, that is a miss. And now the heavy bolters into my intercessor, hitting on 5s. No, nothing there. So that is it for the turn here for the Genestealer Cult. So we will come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels on turn 6. All right, so movement for the Dark Angels. They stood still. He stood still. He advanced up to there. They stood still. He stood still, and he stood still. And that is it for the movement phase. So we will come back to you with the shooting phase here on turn turn 6. All right, my whirlwind is going to fire into this Leman Russ over here. So 2d6 shots. 8 shots. We'll come back to that. 8 shots hitting on 4s. Alrighty. 3 hits. Strength 6. Looking for 5s. We got 2 wounds. 2 3-ups. And he's good. And he's going to fire into him. He's going to throw a grenade. So hitting on a 3. That's a hit. Wounding on a 5. That's a wound. AP -1. So becomes a 4-up save. He's good. And he's going to do the same thing. That's cocked. That's a hit. That is not a wound. And that is it for the shooting phase. And I am not going to... No, I might come back with assault. All right, I am going to assault. So he is going to assault into here. So we'll go with the Overwatch here. So we've got battle cannon first. D6 shots. Whoop, how much is that? Sorry. 6 shots. So 6 shots hitting on 6s. Oh boy. So we got a hit. Wounding on strength 8. So wounding on a 2. That's a wound. -2 +1 because he's in cover there. So looking for a 4-up. No! Goes through. D3 wounds. Oh! 2 wounds. Oh, that's why I was debating it. Boop. All right, so now he's going to charge into him and hope that that same thing doesn't happen. Number of shots to the battle cannon, 2. Hitting on 6s. Oh, no! Oh, no! Wounded on 2s. Oh, man, 2 wounds. Oh, 2 4-up saves. Oh, no! All right, first one, and he's yeah, he's dead too. Oh boy, oh my God, his Leman Russes couldn't hit when they had full ballistic skill, but it's apparently when they're getting charged. Oh, that's brutal. All right, well that's the end of the Dark Angel's turn here on turn 6. So do I roll? I think I roll. Oh, yeah, I think I roll this turn. So looking for a 4-up, right? 4-up to go on to turn 7. No, it doesn't. So that is it. We'll come back to you with the results of that. All right, counting it up here, and the Tyranids and Genestealer Cult hold 2 objectives, and they have first blood. We control the superior objective over here. That objective, and we have Slay the Warlord. So it is a Dark Angel's victory here at the bottom of turn 6. Oh man, there were times during that game when he first dropped in over there that I thought it was over. I didn't think there was anything I could do to pull it out. I thought he was just gonna destroy me. But then his Trigon missing that charge allowed me to like wrench back something and start moving up the field here. And then those amazing Overwatches. Taking out my guys as they were trying to charge in to lock in his Leman Russes. I mean, I think I was damned if I did, damned if I didn't on that one. So I feel okay about that. So, but yeah, that was a brutal, awesome game. And if it had gone on to turn 7, it would have been. I think he probably would have been able to eke out a tie on there. So that was a pretty awesome game there. So I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek, as always. My opponent's been Sam, and until next time, have fun.